Let's see here. Wait, damn it.
Welcome back to Auto Alchemy, and as you can tell from that almost clever intro, I'm going to be talking a little bit about mistyping because I had what felt like a very penetrating insight the other day, and hopefully some of you will agree. Now, some people might argue that I'm not really the best person to talk about mistyping because, as far as I can tell, everybody thinks that I've mistyped myself, and well, that's not entirely true, but I've heard everything from INFP, INTP, INFJ, ENTP, obviously, ENTJ, INTJ, ISFJ. So, I mean, that's almost half of the full spectrum of your standard 16 personality types. So, interpret that how you will. I am sort of embracing the ENTP moniker, and I reserve the right to change my mind as I venture forth into the future. But enough about me. Here's something cool that I thought of the other day whenever I was talking to Shan of the Dave Superpowers Objective Personality Project. So, there are plenty of reasons that people mistype themselves or reasons that people are mistyped by others. But I just wanted to explore this one concept as it occurred to me. So I think it's beneficial to think of yourself as maybe suffering from two major psychological imbalances. So your thinking and your feeling are obviously in tension. So if you're an introverted feeler, there's going to be a really hard tension between following that sense of personal value and authenticity and then the tribal thought patterns that you're trying to navigate. And if you are, an introverted thinking Dom, then you might struggle to reconcile your own personal logical framework with the emotions of the people around you. You might put out some truth that they don't want to hear it,
I'm so bad at this. How do I get good at speaking off the dome?
And so naturally you're also going to struggle to reconcile whatever your intuitive function is with the sensory function in your cognitive stack. So as somebody who values extroverted intuition, my inclination or ravenous desire to gather in as many ideas and concepts as I can, it really leaves me kind of blind to the sensory world. I find it sort of boring and mundane, and I recognize that to put in the work of sensory maintenance would rob me of all of the fun stuff that I like to do, all of the interesting pathways that I want to walk down. And I'm always acutely aware of the limited amount of time that I have on this planet. So that's a scary proposition. So if I am an ENTP, and I hope that you'll just bear with me and run with the hypothetical because there's a nugget of insight here regardless of if I'm right or wrong. If I am an ENTP, then why did I think that I was an INTP for so long? And so the reason for that is that it's so easy to become fixated on that tension between your middle two functions. And it's almost as if, because they are a little closer in strength, there's a so close you can taste it kind of phenomenon going on. So for me, again, running with the hypothetical, for me, I've always been sort of fixated on, well, what is my chain of logical reasoning? What is this Lego tower of thinking that I'm constructing? And I've been hyper aware of sort of like tribal hate or not receiving FE validation And so, as I see it, maybe the primary way that we address that so close you can taste it kind of dichotomy is through our first function. It's the hero function, the function that we think is going to address this what we perceive to be the central conflict in our soul. But where we go wrong then is, we've misidentified what the actual conflict is. The issue really is that because I'm leaning so much on gathering these different concepts from psychology or philosophy, whatever is going to broaden my worldview and help me wrestle with my relationship between myself and humanity at large. By doing that, I've neglected the sensory world, like I mentioned earlier. So the best way to talk about this is maybe through using a metaphor, which if you're astute, you caught that in the title. I want you to imagine that you're a person who's stranded in the Grand Canyon. So you're just like, you're lost inside this huge void. And for whatever reason, you don't really know that. Like, all you can see are these tiny crevices in front of you, and you're trying really hard to leap them, and you're doing a good job of leaping them. And according to this metaphor, those crevices are the gap between your middle two functions. You're like, look at how good I'm doing. It's not too challenging. It's feasible for me to become good at this other thing, this other neglected coin in my life. But what you don't realize, dude or dudette, in this scenario, is that you're blind to the real situation. Like, you are in trouble. You are wandering through the Grand Canyon and you don't even know that you're there. All you can see is what's in front of you. All you can see is the most palpable, easily bridged tension in your life, and you're neglecting the big stuff. So I guess the idea is really that you are like a fish in water with your first function. You don't even know that you're using it. All you can really see is that so close you can taste it dichotomy that's at the center of your functional stack, and you're blind to the discrepancy or the disparity that you're creating with your top function and your bottom function. So maybe that resonates with somebody. If so, please leave a comment. If you used to believe you were one type and now you kind of see more clearly what you are, then maybe this framework can help make sense of the original mistyping. Or if you think that I'm full of it, that's fine too. Just let me know. I'm sure that a few of you will. It seems to be a theme as of late, and it really hurts my feelings. Anyhow, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you haven't liked this video, please do so, or don't, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody who comments and watches. So thank you, as always. Till next time.